to roll back to the content marketing that we started talking about, because we threw out some stuff there quickly, like custom GPTs and types of things that we were making and stuff that we're doing to get better output. I would love to hear more about your process and what it looks like to make good content marketing that you can trust versus just one line prompt, one swing at it for make me a LinkedIn post for today.
Yeah. I mean, it's a process, right? So when we onboard a client, we put them through what we call the perfect client playbook, right? First step in any business development strategy is understanding your ideal client profile, who they are, how they consume, demographics, psychographics, what your value is to them, right? And all that plays into the messaging that you create. The perfect client playbook is something that we rebranded from a company called the Laurens. They're both named Lauren. I think it's the Laurens.com. And with some prompting, it'll crank out a 30 plus page book of who that profile is for you. And so we use that as really the crux and the basis for building our messaging out, understanding who we're talking to, understanding what's of value to them, so we know what lead magnets we're creating and what content becomes important. And then we build each client a custom GPT. So the first thing that goes into that GPT is this perfect client playbook, and then all their website content and any blog they've ever written and any LinkedIn post they've ever done and transcripts from the videos they've done. So any content that they've created prior to engaging with social advisors, that all gets loaded into a custom GPT. So we're trying to emulate voice as much as we can.
Yeah.
Now, inevitably, that first month of content that we do, and that's usually everybody's a little bit different, but typically it's a couple blogs and a couple emails and a dozen or so social media posts. But that first month that we send over to them, they're like, tweak this, tweak that. I don't like the way it said this. I don't like the way it said that. So that first month usually is a bit of back and forth before we land on something that they're happy with, that we think is effective for the audience. Once they approve that, and of course, legal compliance is a huge part of this industry. So compliance has to take a look at it first. Once all that's approved through the firm and through the advisor, we load that back into the GPT. So every month we're taking another couple of blog articles that they've just signed off on with their changes and tweaks and continuing to refine that GPT. So it actually, by month 3, they're like, oh, wow, you hit it. All right. So it takes about 90 days to start to get a real voice for who we're representing.
That's what I've seen as well. I do the exact same process with my clients when I onboard, mostly in B2B services, SaaS or consultants or IT MSPs and stuff.
Yeah.
I've seen the same thing. Honestly, there was only like one client that went past 90 days where they were like, even needed to review it. After 90 days, they were like, I'm just saying yes at this point. You can go ahead and post these. I'll let you know if I see something that's wrong.
Yeah.
I know you have compliance and stuff, which I wanted to ask you about as well, because I find that hallucinations still happen, especially if you do long prompts. It's called drifting with AI, right? Where you start on task and the first draft is great. 7-8 prompts later, revisions and stuff go through, and all of a sudden it's changed some stuff that might not be good in a legal compliance. And I know a lot of financial advisors would be asking you about this as well if you were talking to them. So tell us about, do you just do 100% human reviews, or is there any way to get more reliable output than what a normal GPT would get?
Yeah, we do human reviews, but I'll speak to this from a couple different perspectives, right? When we build out that custom GPT, we build compliance into it, right? Depending on what type of advisor you are, you either got the SEC as oversight, or even stricter than that is FINRA, financial industry. Yeah, I don't know, FINRA. I should know the acronym out of the top of my head, maybe if I thought about it long enough. But so we do human review. So our average content client, we're writing 2 articles, 2 emails, and then 8 to 12 social media posts. Review on that is, I don't know, maybe it takes 20 minutes per client before it goes out to them. Now, from a compliance perspective, there are platforms in the industry, usually incorporated by larger firms, that have a lexicon of compliance no-no words, right? So where if you're at an LPL Financial that has 19 or 20,000 advisors, and 25% of those advisors are cranking out custom content, that's a lot of lawyers reading a lot of words. So they've got a lexicon that, this is really before the AI revolution. He's been around for 8-10 years probably. But all that stuff gets fed through a digital platform, and the machine reads it, and if it throws off any words that might not be compliant, that's when it'll deliver it to a human to review.